Welcome to Ecology and Management of Wheat course. So for this lecture video, we will discuss on the definition of weeds. What are they and how are they defined? I hope by this lecture you will have a general understanding of wheat. I also want you to know that the most basic concept of wheat science is embodied in the term wheat. So you guys really need to clearly define the wheat. Have similar understanding. How is it defined? This lecture also will give you many definitions of wheat defined by various individuals and organizations. So pick up the keywords and try to relate them with our day-to-day activities, because most definitions emphasize on the behavior of the weeds that affects humans. Finally, I hope from this lecture you can understand why weeds are defined as they are. Kraft in 1948 said, "In the beginning there were no weeds." Why he said that? In the beginning there were no weeds. When you've been asked by your mother to clean the lawn from weed, do you know which one to keep and which one to discard? Serai or lalang? Will you remove pegaga? Will you remove bunga tahi hayam? Okay, let's see how English define weed. The American, when we look at this dictionary, this is dictionary for the American, the Webster. The American define weed as a plant considered undesirable, unattractive, or troublesome, especially one growing where it is not wanted. While the British, okay, from the Oxford dictionary, they call wheat as a herbaceous plant not valued for use or beauty, growing wild and rank, and regarded as cumbering the ground or hindering the growth of superior vegetation. Look at this proverb, kutanam padi tumbuhnya lalang. Can you define wheat based on this proverb? Various wheat scientists have been tried to define wheat. Blackley in 1912 defined a weed as a plant out of place or growing where it is not wanted. While Emerson here said that a plant whose virtues have not yet been discovered. Harper and Salisbury gave simple definitions. Higher plant which are nuisance, a plant growing where we do not want it. Take a moment, pause this video and digest all these definitions. So, why they gave different definitions? Why they can't give one single definition for wheat? All definitions are based on criteria that were underrated because the term wheat itself is very subjective and widely open for interpretation by human needs. For example, rye or sickle cereal was first labeled as wheat in wheat plantation and for wheat and barley cultivation before being introduced as a crop itself. So this is a rye is a crop. Cyanodon dactylon, or what we Malaysian call as rumput minyak, is considered troublesome weed for horticulture, but the aggressive nature has made it a suitable lawn grass. Finally, this Oryza rufipogon, okay, or what we call as padi hantu, not padi liar. Some area call it as a in north they call it as a padi hantu. Is a wild rice and been considered as among the worst weed in rice cultivation. But the rice itself, Oryza sativa, was originated from Oryza rufipogon. So, why while rice is the wheat but not Oryza sativa? The descendant is not. Because of the difficulties to clearly define wheat, some of the wheat science organizations have come up with their own interpretation of wheat to accommodate their organizational needs. The Wheat Science Society of America defines wheat as any plant that is objectionable or interferes with the activities or welfare of man, while the European Wheat Research Society, so this is WS, usually short form is WSSA, and this is EWRS, define wheat as any plant or vegetation excluding fungi interfering with the objectives or requirement of people. So, what is a wheat? If I ask you what is a wheat, can you give me your own interpretation and definition of wheat? Think about it now. No matter what is your definition, in general, especially for this course, the wheat is all around these keywords. Wheat must be a plant. Fungus is not a weed. Insects are not weeds. Bacteria is not a weed, although they bring harm to human. Secondly, they are unwanted. This is a loose term because the level of unwantedness is again depends on our own term of interpretation. And most importantly, we can consider a plant as a weed when they interfere to human needs. Can you explain what does it means by these keywords? On top of these definitions, you need to understand other terminologies related to weed. Weed, also known as invasive, colonist, exotic, non-native, alien, etc., etc., always defined in many ways. The concepts are differ based on viewpoints. Booth, in her book, has gathered these concepts based on various viewpoints. The term weed, as we will use frequently throughout this course, is basically the plant that interfere to human objectives. In biogeographical viewpoint will include the introduced, invasive, exotic, alien, non-native species, or we can call it as an invader. And in ecological viewpoint, the weed is called colonizer because the view is surrounding the succession process. So why Kraft said there were no weeds in the beginning? Because we make plants a weed. How? We will discuss this in class. And now, what do you think about weed? Are you ready to go deep in this course? Finally, some extra homework for you. Think about this. What commonalities and differences can be found in the several definitions of the word weed? How does the way we define something determine our attitude toward it?